Sunday, and welcome to the first ever edition of the Sunday Festival. We call today the Sunday Festival because on Sundays we celebrate lots of things on a regular basis. I know this is a day where a lot of people go to church or pray, go to synagogue, whatever your religion is. No matter what, Sunday is a great day to celebrate life, and on today specifically, it is Mother's Day. So please, to all you moms in the audience, happy Mother's Day, but please wish every mom in your life a happy Mother's Day. That being said, we had some big action yesterday. Let's go through the action from yesterday, go through the picks, another 0 for 4 day. We start off with the Eastern Conference here. A big win for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were able to rescue a huge win at home in this series. The home team has won all 3 of the games in this series. It was a great start from the Cleveland Cavaliers, but specifically in the second quarter, they were able to really fire away. James Harden overall took care of the ball much better. He had just under 3.5 turnovers. Well, he had 3. If he had one more, we would have gotten that pick, but that is that. He was able to take care of the ball better. He was much more efficient. He went 8 for 14 from the field, 19 points. He was 3 for 7 from 3, 7 assists as well. Donovan Mitchell also played a much better game. He was a big scorer, going 13 for 24 from the field. It was a great overall balanced performance. Even Jarrett Allen at the center position, 7 for 9 from the field. They did not get much from their bench, though, and that's also very concerning for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They only had 28 bench points from 4 players. They got a 9-man rotation. They're relying heavily on their starters. The starters were able to deliver quite well in this game. They were very efficient, but still, it is very, very concerning for Cleveland how much they rely on their starters. Jalen Duren, you look at the other side of the equation, he was a relative non-factor. He didn't really shoot much. He was 5 for 8 from the field, overall efficient when he was shooting. He only got to the free throw line a couple times, and that was really a concern for Detroit, just how much they didn't get too much down low. They were relatively dominated, 4 rebounds. They relied way too much on Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham went 10 for 27. Not a great shooting night. He was 5 for 6 from the free throw line for 27 points. He did have 10 rebounds and 10 assists, so a relative shift in how Cade Cunningham contributed. You know, he obviously got a lot of assists, but he also had to get a lot of rebounds in this game, and I think that kind of hurt Detroit not having too much down low. Of course, Duncan Robinson, 4 for 7 from 3. He's continuing to be a big sharpshooter, hitting some big threes for Detroit, especially to keep them in the game. But in the end of the day, good effort from them. But we did not get our picks in that game. Let's go to the Thunder and Lakers. Thunder take a 3-0 lead. They are in command. They have not lost a single game yet this postseason. Sweeping the Suns series, annihilating the Lakers. It is a very difficult time right now for Coach J.J. Redick with the roster that he's got. And you can see as well, looking at the Thunder, we'll go through the Thunder first. And Chet Holmgren, he had 1 steal, no blocks. That was a little bit rough on that bet right there. He was 9 for 14 from a field, 9 rebounds. Overall, he had a solid game. He just wasn't as big of a contributor as usual with the steals and the blocks. But another very balanced performance from OKC, and this is what we love seeing from the Oklahoma City Thunder, is that they can beat you in all sorts of ways. SGA did not have a great game again. He was 7 for 20 from the field, 23 points. Did have 9 assists. I mean, it wasn't a terrible game for SGA, but definitely not as MVP caliber games that we're used to seeing from him. But again, you look at all across the board. Lou Darts, 4 for 5 from the field. Isaiah Hartenstein, 6 for 7 from the field. Even some production from the bench. Wallace, 16 points. Isaiah Joe, 12 points. Andrew Wiggins only played 3 minutes, but did go 2 for 2 from the field. Alex Caruso was able to go 3 for 6. So they had very solid shooting performances. They were able to shoot 56% as a team, 44 from the three-point line. That's absolutely staggering. Even the Lakers shot above league average. They were 46.9% from the field overall, but also they were 14 for 30 from 3, 46.7%, which, looking at the league average of 35%, very solid three-point shooting performance from the Lakers, but still, same kind of concern that I have about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just don't get contributions from their bench. I mean, Kennard did have 18 points, but outside of him, really next to nothing from their bench. They had a total of 31 bench points, which again, very comparable to Cleveland's 28 bench points. Austin Reeves did go just under 15.5 field goal attempts. He was 5 for 13 from the field. So it was not a great shooting night from Austin Reeves. He could have taken some higher percentage shots. He was 1 for 5 from 3. He was 6 for 8 from the line, which is all right. But 9 assists, not a terrible game. He was able to contribute. He did get into foul trouble. That was part of it. But he still played 39 minutes, among the most on his team, alongside Rui Hachimura, who's also really had to step up for the Lakers. DeAndre Ayton, 5 for 9. Pretty solid, but he does typically shoot a higher field goal percentage. He only had 6 rebounds, so he did get dominated by Chet Holmgren down low. Enough of the summary of yesterday's game. I went through a lot there, but let's go to today's games. We got the Knicks, who are looking to get on with a 3-0 lead here in the series. This is game number 4. Actually, excuse me, they're looking to win the series. They're on with a 3-0 lead. They're looking to win the series. Mikal Bridges, over 4.5 3-point attempts. He's a guy I really like as a Phoenix Suns fan. You know, he was great for that Western Conference champion team. His shooting is very underrated. I think that's one of the most underrated things about Bridges. Great defender, you know, someone who can facilitate all parts of the offense, but he is overall a solid 3-point shooter. I think the Knicks will give him some good looks. VJ Edgecombe, a rookie, the 3rd overall pick. He has been a solid contributor all year for Philadelphia. And given the balanced style that they had, got VJ Edgecombe over 15.5 points and assists combined. Then we go on to Dylan Harper. He's also one of those kind of role player contributors that they got on the San Antonio Spurs. He's someone that has capability as a playmaker, and the way Victor Wembanyama is playing, the way he's reoriented himself in the offense, Dylan Harper is picked to go over 3.5 assists. Last but not least, Rudy Gobert, a double-double. We're looking at that as one of those picks that's right on the edge. Really, every pick we do on this page has relatively narrow odds, can always go either way. You can see all the narrow margins we've had. Haven't got the high end of the stick, but let's hope for something different today. And let's actually go through the data of why today shall be different. We got Mikal Bridges over 4.5 3-point attempts. Now, he has done that in 2 of his last 10 games. But if you look at the last 20 games, you can see in the previous 10 games, he did it in about 6 of those. So you can see right here, Mikal Bridges, good 3-point shooter overall. He's someone who, on the right day, will attempt plenty of shots. You can even see in the game 1 in this series, he was able to attempt 5 3-pointers. Head-to-head, against the Philadelphia 76ers, outside the last couple games, he had done it in the previous 8 games. So this is something that I really expect is going to get back. He's going to get back to now that they got a 3-0 lead. You're going to see a lot looser of a style from the New York Knicks. Now, granted, you know, if they get a big lead, he might not play so much, but I think Philadelphia is going to push the needle. They're going to really try to fight to starve off elimination at home. Mikal Bridges, if we look down right here at his 3-point attempts and what he's attempting every game, he is easily averaging 5 attempts. Well, he's averaging 5.7 attempts a game. I know it's gone down a little bit, but there's no doubt that he is someone that is going to shoot plenty of threes. Karl Anthony Towns is having a great game down low. So, again, you look at all the times he's attempted more than 4.5 against Philadelphia. That's a pretty good chart right there. So pretty optimistic pick here for Mikal Bridges over 4.5 field goals. Let's go on to VJ Edgecombe, over 15.5 points and assists. Someone who's done that in 5 of his last 10. He's done that in 14 of his last 20. So again, another not so recent trend, but a previous trend that's looking at how Philadelphia has played in this series and all the adjustments they have to make, and they have made in having a more balanced offense, they want to get VJ Edgecombe more involved. Now, he is someone that came very close in Game 1 and Game 3 of the series. He was able to do it in Game 2. But if we look at all the other head-to-heads, the previous regular season games, all 4 regular season games against the New York Knicks, he has been able to go over 15.5 field goal attempts. Gotta love that. And that's another thing where VJ Edgecombe is just someone that this Philadelphia offense is going to need to contribute. They're going to need everything he's got alongside all the other players around him. We're looking at Paul George, Kelly Oubre. We talked about Tyrese Maxey already. Philadelphia is also another team that has gotten relatively low production from their bench. They're relying too heavily on their starters. Another key reason why they are down 3-0. So let's expect VJ Edgecombe to get the ball a lot. Expect him to do well with it today. Expect him to be a big reason why Philadelphia at least will come close to starving off elimination and forcing a Game 5 in New York. Let's get on to Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper projected to go over 3.5 assists. He has done it in 2 of his last 3, but yes, in his previous 6 games, he had not done it. That was in the Portland series. So you can see in the Timberwolves series, they've tried to play a little bit differently, especially with guys like Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle down low. And Dylan Harper has been able to get more involved in the playmaking. You can look and see that in the head-to-head charts. In this series, that's been the case. Wasn't quite so much the case in the regular season, which does make it a relative toss-up pick. You can kind of see, looking at the betting odds, it is a plus 155, so he is slightly not favored to do it, but we think that he's going to do it anyways. Look at his last 20 games here. You can see that in the previous 10 games, so going back to previous trends, he has been a playmaker for them. Before the Portland series, we're talking the end of the regular season. So this is one of those things with Dylan Harper that we know he can be a playmaker in the offense. He's been more engaged in that kind of role in the offense in this series, and we expect that to continue here in the next game. And we got right here all the potential assists that he's had. Yes, a little less playmaking opportunities, but you can also see that it means that in Game 1 and Game 2 of the series, with a little less playmaking opportunities, he's been able to make the most of it. But again, I also attribute it to the way that Victor Wembanyama has kind of shifted his focus in the series after the Game 1, where he didn't shoot very well. Yes, he had a lot of blocks, but he has been trying to get a lot better shots in the series, and Dylan Harper is someone who's going to create better opportunities for Victor Wembanyama. Expect him to go over 3.5 assists in the series. Or in this game, excuse me. Now I get on to one of the bolder predictions of the day, but one of those that when I look at the flow of the game, when I look at the feel of the game, I feel relatively confident in, and that is that Rudy Gobert is going to get a double-double. You can see in the sports books a lot of pluses there, plus 261, plus 260, plus 198, all the way down to plus 149. So at least on Underdog, this is a relatively even odds kind of pick right here. But Rudy Gobert getting a double-double is something that I feel Minnesota is going to need today to stay in this series. I'm going to start off with the regular season. You go look at the entire regular season, you look at the entire calendar year, he has done it in 42% of games. That's not bad right there. Now, what does work against him is obviously Victor Wembanyama. You can see he's done it in 1 of the 9 games against the Spurs, and the last time he did it was in 2024. It's one of those things that you look at a volcano. If a volcano hasn't erupted in a while, you could think that it's due for an eruption. I think Rudy Gobert is due for an eruption today. Yes, he's obviously against Victor Wembanyama, but I do think that now that he's had 3 games against him, he's getting a better feel. He was very efficient from the field in his last game. If you look at it last 20, 45%, not bad. That's actually higher than his regular season. So you look back at some of the games in the end of the regular season, but also you look at some of the games in the Denver series. He actually was able to do it 3 times against Nikola Jokic, a 3-time MVP. And he hasn't done it yet in the first 3 games of the San Antonio series. Yes, Victor Wembanyama probably will become a 3-time MVP at some point, but let's look, he's not there yet. And hey, Rudy Gobert, as experienced as he is, he knows how to be in the right places on the floor. He's got Anthony Edwards carrying the offense. He should get some high percentage looks inside. Rudy Gobert, a great pick today to go double-doubles, or I should say a bold pick to get a double-double today, but yet one that I feel confident in. That is it for the day. Happy Mother's Day to everyone, to all the moms out there. Hope y'all have a blessed day. Before I get off, I'm going to give you a quick preview of next week. Once we get down to one NBA playoff game a day, there will be some picks in Major League Baseball. We're also going to have some Premier League props coming up this upcoming weekend. We got a big couple weekends here in the Premier League. And then last but not least, UEFA Champions League, May 29th in Budapest, PSG versus Arsenal. That is going to be a UEFA Champions League final special. It is a big match for all soccer fans. Going to get us all pumped up for the World Cup. Cannot wait. With that being said, for now, it is time to get ourselves focused on the NBA playoffs. We got some big game 4s today. Let's enjoy them. Let's get it.